So where do we go from here? First, I've given you an exercise to work on the discussion board. Right? I've taken a case study and I've given an argument about what the person in that case study should do. What I'd like you to do is spot the classic mistakes in that argument. Right? I've deliberately built in one or two, and you might find more. Right? So identify the mistakes, and when you do so, identify the type of mistake it is, and explain in detail the substance of that mistake. In addition, I would like you to go on to the next couple of videos, and let me explain briefly what I'm going to do there. In the previous video and this video, I talked about the theory rule utilitarianism. In the next video, I'm going to give you an introduction to the issue that we'll be discussing for the next couple of weeks. That is, I'll give you an introduction to the debates over euthanasia. And as you'll find, there are a number of arguments against euthanasia, right? And some of them are, in fact, very much rule utilitarian arguments. So what we're going to do this week, right, we're going to get an intro to the issue, and then we're going to look at the merits, and we're going to debate the merits of the rule utilitarian arguments against euthanasia. I'm going to do this in two stages. First, I'm going to talk about what we call safeguards. Right? Safeguards are policies designed to prevent mistakes and abuses with certain sorts of practices. Okay? So certain anti-corruption measures are safeguards. Right? We know that when we have certain sorts of government bureaucracy, there's going to be opportunities for bribes, kickbacks, etc. So we put some policies in place that are supposed to prevent those things from happening. Right? We also know with euthanasia, right? So we're going to talk about different types of safeguards. Right? And then we're going to move into one of the key questions about euthanasia. Right? And particularly a question where rule utilitarianism is particularly relevant. That is, we know that there are some potential problems with allowing euthanasia. Once we allow certain forms of euthanasia, right, there's certain mistakes that can happen and certain abuses that can happen. Right? And the question becomes, are we able to adequately guard against those mistakes and abuses? Right? And that question lines up pretty neatly with rule utilitarian theory. Right? So, along with doing the exercise I suggested on the discussion board, I'd like you to go to watch the next couple videos. Okay, we'll talk about the issue of euthanasia. We'll talk about safeguards, right, which is an issue that lines up very nicely with rule utilitarian considerations. And then we're going to apply, right, the ideas about safeguards to the issue of euthanasia.